There is something nobody tells you about losing a relationship. It does not just take the person, it takes the structure, the rhythm, the invisible scaffolding of a shared life that held your days together without you even noticing. And when it is gone, the days don't just feel empty, they feel shapeless, like time is passing, but you are not quite inside it. Few years ago, there was a man with foundation beneath him can build almost anything. Welcome back to the Rebuilding series. If you are just joining us, last episode we established something important. Starting all over does not mean starting from nothing. You are not a blank page. You are a man carrying depth, experience, and hard-earned wisdom into whatever comes next. And if you have been here from the beginning of this series, welcome back. Thank you for showing up because today we get practical. Today, we'll talk about one of the most powerful and most underestimated tool in the rebuilding process, and that is routine. Not the rigid, punishing kind, not the kind built on discipline and willpower alone, but the kind that actually holds a man together when everything around him is still finding its shape. So stay with me. Here is what the days look like without the structure. You wake up and there is nothing pulling you forward. No shared plan, no reading that belongs to something larger than just getting through the hours. So you improvise. Some days you stay busy enough to feel okay. Other days, the hours stretch out in a way that feels almost unbearable. You eat when you remember to, you sleep at inconsistent times, you make decisions reactively based on how you feel in the moment, rather than from any kind of grounded intentionality. And slowly, without meaning to, the day starts to blur. Monday feels like Saturday. Morning feels like the evening, and you find yourself at the end of another week unsure of what you actually did with it. Not because you are lazy, not because you lack motivation, but because motivation was never the problem. Structure was. And without structure, even the most capable man find himself drifting. If this rebuilding series has been speaking something real in you, share this episode specifically, because the conversation about routine, about structure, and how it holds a man together is one that most men never have with anyone. Pass it to someone who is drifting right now and does not know why, and subscribe so you won't miss the next episode. This series is building towards something powerful, and I want you present every step. Here is the deeper truth about what losing structure actually does to a man. It is not just inconvenient, it is destabilizing, because human beings, men in particular, are wired to find meaning through purposeful action, through moving towards something, through the feeling of a day well spent. When a relationship was intact, even on the hard days, there was a framework, a reason to be somewhere at a certain time, a person who expected something of you, a shared life that gave the day a shape. And now the framework is gone, and what replaces it? If nothing replaces it, is a kind of formlessness that quietly fills the grave, because an unstructured day gives the mind nowhere to go except back to what it's lost, and the thought circles and the weight settles down, and what could have been a day of quiet progress becomes another day of surviving the hour. Not because you failed, but because no man heals well in a vacuum. Structure is not optional in the rebuilding process. It is the container that makes everything else possible. We will be right back after the break. Stay with me, because after this, we talk about what a routine that actually holds you looks like. Not a perfect routine, not an ambitious one, a real one, built for the man you are right now. Welcome back. Here is the refrain I want you to carry into this conversation. A routine is not a schedule. A schedule tells you what to do and when to do it. A routine tells you who you are by showing you how you choose to show up for yourself every single day. And the difference matters a lot because a schedule can be broken. A schedule can feel like a constraint. A schedule can become one more thing you feel guilty about not following perfectly. But a routine, a real one, built around your actual need, becomes something else entirely. It becomes an anchor, a daily reminder that you are still here, still moving, still choosing yourself, even on the days when nothing else feels certain. And here is the most important thing about building a routine right now. It does not need to be impressive. It does not need to be the routine of a man who has everything figured out. It needs to be the routine of a man who is rebuilding. And those are very different things. So what does a routine that actually holds you look like? It starts with the morning, because as we talked about in the previous series, the morning is where the day is won or lost. Give yourself a morning anchor, one thing you do first every day without negotiation. It does not have to be a code block or a 5-mile runs. It can be as simple as making your bed, getting outside for 10 minutes, reading something that feeds your mind before you feed it the noise of the world. That one anchor sets the tone. It tells your nervous system you are intentional today. You are moving forward today. Then build outward from there. Get your midday a shape. A time for work, a time for eating with some actual intention, a time for movement, because the body is carrying this grief too and it needs to be moved. And give your evening a boundary, a time when the screen goes down, a time when the day is allowed to close, a time when you are not consuming but simply being. This does not have to be perfect. It does not have to look like the same every day, but it has to be yours, built by you, for you. For the specific man you are in the specific season, because a routine that holds you is one you actually designed to hold you, not one you copy from someone else's highlight reel. There will come a morning not too far from now when you move through your routines and something feels different, not dramatically, not with fireworks, but there will be a steadiness to it, a familiarity that belongs to you, a quiet sense of this is my day, I built this and it owes me. And on that morning you will understand something that is hard to explain until you feel it. That structure is not a cage, it is a foundation, and a man with foundation beneath him can build almost anything. If this episode gave you something practical to hold on to today, share it. Pass it to a man whose days have lost their shape. Someone drafting through the hours and wondering why the weights won't lift. Tell him, build something small, something consistent, something yours, and watch what it does for you. Subscribe so that you are here when the next episode drops, because next we are going into something that the rebuilding process absolutely requires, but that most men have completely lost touch with. Rediscovering what makes you come alive, not what you used to enjoy, not what she likes, but what actually lights something up in you. This one is going to open something important. Until next time, build your morning, hold your day, one routine at a time. You are rebuilding and it is already working.